I'm going to introduce to you a new concept called Innovation Compass. So this is a platform or a framework that we've developed in-house off the back of our book, and it's designed as a practical framework to help leaders and organizations navigate the messy reality of innovation. So some of these things that we've talked about. So just like a compass, it's designed to provide progress and direction when paths are uncertain. So when you're working through complexity and uncertainty. And it's anchored by 6 essential pillars and 1 reinforcing pillar that I'll talk to. And it's sort of largely a difference between, I guess, a nuance between sort of design and application to ensure that progress alignment, and impact in complex organizations. So that's going to be the foundation of our conversation today. And you'll start seeing a lot more of this Innovation Compass come through in some of our materials post the workshop as well. So the first pillar is culture first. So what we know is that innovation succeeds when people feel safe to ask better questions, challenge defaults, and experiment without fear. Pretty much the opposite of that statistic I just shared, where 1 in 10 people feel safe to share a half-baked idea. Second is organisational fit. And sorry, COMPASS is an acronym. So you'll see here, C, O, et cetera, et cetera. Organisational fit. So tailoring your approach to the system you're in, to its politics, maturity and power structures is critically important. Lifting and shifting innovation capability or innovation processes, structures, et cetera, does not work. Believe me, I've tried it. I've failed as I've had a number of leaders who taken what they think is a perfect operating environment, conducive for innovation, tried to apply that to their next role in another organisation or their other team and found that it's fallen flat or it just hasn't quite worked. So you've got to design for the system that you're in and make sure that you are set up within the right constraints in that business that's fit for purpose. The next one is momentum. So starting small, delivering visible wins and building belief through progress before scale. So we see it too often, time and time again, that we just want scale. This is from the top down, generally, is that we're in a hurry. But on the other end of it, sometimes we're over-engineering it. Sometimes we're building something that's too big to start. We're not testing and learning. We're not experimenting. We're actually just building that big thing that the leader said was a really good thing to do. As a result, it takes time. We lose momentum. Sometimes the structures around us aren't necessarily set up to give us the momentum that we need. That becomes frustrating. Teams get shut down. Initiatives get shut down. People get fired. Move on to the next role. As some of us have been through, some of us have, I'm sure all of us have got people who we know in our networks who have been through this as well. Pretty much every team that I've ever worked in on client side doesn't exist anymore. They've all been made redundant in the last few years. People, the right people who are credible, trusted, ambidextrous, so can work with both hands, and largely that ambidextrous is around a mentor of mine, Ron Arnold, who many of you may know, talks about this a lot around ambidexterity is really about the ability to, I guess, not only get your hands dirty, but also kind of operate in strategy, operate in execution at the same time. And the ability to do both is a unique skill, but also have a bit of mongrel about you, the ability to get your hands dirty, get in there and just get shit done. These are the things that make a difference at all levels of people who are trying to kind of break the innovation cycle. Architecture. So innovation does need scaffolding. You need structure, you need funding, you need governance, you need clarity, and you need a rhythm to protect it and make sure that you can actually innovate effectively time and time again, having those repeatable processes that are fit for the system that you're in, and having the design and the stop starts and the processes is critically important, and recognizing that that's not necessarily going to be. I had a great conversation with a leader yesterday who said we need to make sure that every partner we bring on is not treated like Microsoft, because not every organization that we bring on has the same level of risk, needs the same level of scrutiny, is the kind of the downside is not going to be anywhere near as material, or the impact of bringing on a partner or building something new or investing in X is going to be the same. So it's about having the right scaffolding that's fit for purpose for the innovation that you're trying to initiate. Strategy. So innovation must cascade from the boardroom ambition to frontline action. There's got to be a steel thread that really goes through the whole of the organization, and that needs to be a two-way thread. It can't be a one-way street where strategy is set once a year or once every 3 years. and then it's just go and do it, and then we reset a new strategy in 3 years' time. Innovation needs to feed strategy, and we need to make sure that everything that we're doing from an innovation context also has a direct link into the strategic ambitions of the organisation, the division, the team, whatever it may be. Again, have worked in numerous teams where you don't make that direct link to strategy, and suddenly you find yourself lost looking at all sorts of initiatives that the business is not interested in at all. So wasted time, money, people. And again, people end up losing their jobs, and it's just wasted funding for the owners of the businesses and the shareholders and all stakeholders involved. And the last one here is scaffolding. So this is the kind of reinforcing that largely is linked to architecture. But if you think about the role of architects when they're building a home or a shopping centre or whatever it is, the role of architects is around that kind of design capability. Scaffolding is around the application of that, is really making sure that you've got the right actual structures in place and they are stable. So having discipline, having clarity and structure, these are the invisible supports or the scaffolding that do protect innovation from being crushed by BAU processes, which is what we see again, time and time again. Largely linked to capacity constraints is BAU and innovation capabilities or innovation initiatives are often competing for the same people through the same processes, through the same teams, etc. And it just doesn't get prioritized as a result.